Good evening, everyone. Like I said, for those just joining, we'll just give a few minutes for others to join. While so, if you can hear me, just type 111 in the chat box. Let me be sure everyone can hear me. All right. All right. Great. Great. All right. Once you come into the room, just mute yourself. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We're just trying to give the next 5 minutes for just give some time for persons to join us. A lot of persons are still coming in. Thank you for joining me tonight, and I promise it's going to be an exciting time tonight. All right, this is 7:04. All right, we have 11 participants that have joined. I just want to say thank you for joining. Um, and I believe at the end of this meeting tonight, it will definitely be highly impactful. All right, please confirm you can see my screen. Just type drop 11 in the chat box just to confirm you can see my screen. All right, great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now I've tagged it the round table talk, and the reason why I've tagged it the round table talk is because I won't be the only one sharing tonight. I'm just going to lay the foundation, and as we progress, we're going to have other persons share. There's going to be a session for questions, answers, and contributions, comments. So I've tagged it repositioning for 2021, and I want to start by saying um, there's this popular slogan or this popular slogan, we can call it a slogan, which says he who fails to plan plans to fail. And when we talk about repositioning, we're talking about properly redirecting yourself. Properly redirecting yourself. 2020 has been so many things to several persons. Now, a lot of persons have died. A lot of persons have lost their businesses. A lot of persons have been put out of jobs. A lot of persons have been affected by 2020. by all the issues that came with 2020, and 2020 is about to end. Now, as much as it was not okay for a lot of persons, I also know a lot of persons that took advantage of the pandemic that had good stories to share in 2020. Now, let's put 2020 aside. The reason why we're doing this tonight is because if we properly, irrespective of what has happened in 2020, if we properly reposition ourselves, we can actually take advantage of 2021. And that's why we're here tonight. However, I'll just be laying the foundation of what we'll be doing tonight as I go through my slides. And I do hope that at the end of this conversation, eventually, we'll be able to redirect ourselves, we'll be able to take advantage, we'll be able to reposition ourselves and take advantage of the opportunities that lies therein in the future. I'm not going to take too much of your time tonight. I'm looking at 1 hour maximum, but if the conversation stretches, why not? We can always go ahead and enjoy ourselves, because it's a learning point or a learning curve for us tonight. Now, let me just run through my slides here this evening as we engage. Once again, I just want to say thank you for joining, and I do hope that you will get again a lot from this conversation. Round table talk. Now, repositioning for 2021. Now, what can you see? Somebody help me out. What can you see? Tell me what you can see. Just drop it in the chat box. What can you see? Tell me what you can see. Or you can unmute yourself and just talk. Tell me what you can see. You can unmute yourself and talk. Hello? Okay, somebody say, Matthias say you can see tree, sure, images. Okay, you can unmute yourself. So it's a roundtable talk. So let me get feedback. Let me be sure you can hear me. You can unmute yourself and talk. A guy and a lady, okay? Somebody said a tree. Good evening.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Looking at the picture, I can see trees.
Okay.
I can also see a picture of a baby.
Okay. All right, you can see a baby. Fantastic. How many of us can see the baby? You can unmute yourself and talk. How many of us can see the baby?
A guy and a girl hold them standing together.
Great. How many of us can see the baby?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I think I can see that an animal on the tree, something like an animal, right?
Okay.
A rabbit or so. And then I think I can see a man turned upside down.
Okay.
A figure of a man turned upside down.
Okay. Okay, great. All right, let's move on.
Where the cursor is. Yeah.
Okay, for
great.
me,
Okay.
I can see two people standing on the side, looking onto the other side.
Okay. Okay. All right. Fantastic. Now you all agree with me that we can all see various things. Not everybody can see the baby. Now the baby is coming out very, very clearly. You can see the eyes, the mouth, the hands, the legs. Is it a baby or a fetus? Something like that. Now this clearly tells us that we all have various perceptions to what we see in life, but we'll come to that as we go on, as we progress. Okay, now let's look at this. What you can see is a heap of sand. What you can see here as well is bricks made from that mold. And that's the mold. This is basically a brick making process. You put the sand in the mold and you get this shape. Now, hear me. Not until you change this mold. This shape will forever remain the same. As long as you keep on filling this mold with this sand, you will always get this shape. If for any reason you want to change this shape, then you have to change the mold. I just want you to follow me closely. Now, this is the hands of a potter using clay to make a pot. Now, as I was going through this and trying to think, it occurred clearly to me that the clay is always at the mercy of the potter. The potter will always determine what he wants to make out of the clay. The clay does not have an opportunity to make a decision. If he wants to make a jug out of it, so it is. That's what he's going to do. If he wants to make anything out of it, that is what comes out of it. Now, the clay has no opportunity to make the decision to change what it will be used to make out. Now, let's look at this. This picture signifies the environment, and this signifies our minds. Now, if in this context, the environment is the clay, the environment is the mold, and our minds are the clay, it invariably means that, or let me take it like this. Research has shown that there is a huge influence of the environment on your personality. There's a huge influence of your environment on your personality. And in this context, I will liken our environment to the mold and our minds to the clay. It therefore means that the environment has a way it shapes the way we think. The environment has a way it shapes our thought process. Now, there are several things we do here in this country that when you step out of this environment, you literally cannot do. Now, on a daily basis on the roads of Lagos, you see people going one way after several warnings from the government. Now, immediately you step out to a neighboring country like Ghana, right? You just reset automatically because you have left the supposedly environment that you are used to. Now, the difference between the analogy I made earlier, which is the potter and the clay, and the environment and our minds, is that as man, we have the power of choice. While the clay cannot make a decision of what will come out of, what it will be used, the clay cannot make any decision of what will become of its destiny, let me just put it that way, or become of its future, despite the fact that the environment has a huge impact on who we become or what the environment has a huge impact on us. As man, we can still make choices. Follow me closely. Now, and the environment has a huge impact on the way we think. The environment has a huge impact on the way we do things. The environment has a huge impact. Now, let me paint it clearly. Now, for some persons, they have the fixed mindset. For some persons, they have a growth mindset. Now, if you have the fixed mindset, all you just think that is, okay, this is happening to me, I would accept it. Challenges come, that is how it has been designed. I accept it and I move ahead. You don't think of how you come out of such situations. Now, here's where I'm going to. Looking at our nation, we can tag Nigeria as a mold. And this is what this mold has done to us. The mold called Nigeria, which is the environment in which we live in. Now, several years ago, I came out of the university, graduated with the hope that, yes, you will get a good job. Now, we graduated hoping that we could study based on, we could get a job based on what we studied. But that was not the case. We came out and the rat race started. All of a sudden, we discovered that getting a bank job was it. So we all went ahead to write tests. Now I'm talking about the mode. We went ahead to write tests. Practically, that was not what we actually desired when we were in school. We wanted to implement what we were taught. But when we got out of school, we discovered that the environment that we were in it was a different ball game entirely. So a lot of people got into the banking sector. A lot of people got into various sectors, only to discover that 10 years down the line, it was not in sync into what they actually wanted. I'm talking about the mode. Now, everybody got into the rat race, and 10 years down the line, you just discover that, wow, you're working and you're not happy. You're working, you're in traffic every day, and it almost seems like you are not where you want to be. Now, I was reading a book by Joe Polish, and he was talking about moving from the easy, lucrative, and fun-loving life. Sorry, moving from the half annoying and frustrating life to the easy, lucrating life. Now, that is talking about making a switch from what the environment has given you into what you want. Now, remember, I started by talking about the mold, and I also made an analogy of the sand. When placed in that mold, will always come out with a particular shape. Now, not until you change the mold, the result will always be the same. The environment, like I said, has an impact on us. Now, clearly, truly speaking, most often at times, we cannot change the environment in which we live, right? But because we are not just, as the clay is at the mercy of the potter, we are not just like the clay. We have minds of our own for us to be able to impact on ourselves despite the superseding factor we call the environment. Now, I gave an analogy of the one-way thing. There's also this analogy or this example of the habit. Okay, I was driving today and I saw somebody in front of me trashing on the express, which is literally certain things that we will not do when we step out of this environment. A whole lot of examples, a whole lot of things that we will not do when we get out of this environment. Now, there's a way the environment shaping you, such that you get to the point whereby certain things that are abnormal becomes normal just because you are in that environment. And if there is a way it impacts on your mind, because when you now begin to do abnormal things as if they are normal, you know that there's already an impact on your mind. So you begin to think that it is normal. And that is the situation, the pathetic situation of the country we are in called Nigeria. However, that's not where I'm going to, but that is just the foundation. The foundation in the sense that we've gotten to a point whereby we think that the stress we go through, we think that the life we are living is the norm. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that if what you're experiencing today as a factor of the mold called Nigeria that has made it be, you can actually change it. I was talking to my staff yesterday and I said, do not always allow the environment, especially when you know that the environment is not what it is expected to be, to determine your mindset. It is key. Try as much as possible to switch out of that mode and begin to determine what you actually want your life to be. Now let's go on. I'm setting the foundation. So the big question we want to answer this evening, which we will all be answering, is how do I break free? How do I break free from this mode? In breaking free, I'm talking about how do I consciously begin to determine what I want to achieve? How do I consciously or deliberately begin to determine where I'm going to in life. Now, as simple as it is, there are two questions I've come across in life, which sounds very simple. They're just about 3 words put together, but it is very, very, very difficult to answer. And one of those questions is, okay, before we talk about in breaking free, what you need is clarity. But the question is, who are you? Who are you? Now, if we want to actually reposition ourselves for 2021, you need to know who you are. Now, the lion does not eat grass, and that is not pride. That's because the lion was never made to eat grass. No matter how hungry the lion is, the lion will never eat grass, not because it is proud. It was never made to eat grass. So one question that you need to answer for you to properly position yourself is knowing who you are. And in answering this question, if you answer this question correctly, I think it's going to be like a breaker for you. Because most often at times, where we are today in life is a total function of the impact of the environment on us. In terms of the job you are doing today, in terms of what you've been able to achieve. Now, as bad as it is, there are a lot of factors affecting us as in Nigeria as a developing nation. I'm not even going into that now, because if we want to dive into that, it's a whole lot. But here's where I'm going to. That irrespective of what the environment throws at us, right? The principles of success is the same everywhere. So many persons think that when they leave this country, true, that the factors that affect us are much. Now, and when you go out, the factors could be favorable, but the principles never change because the principles of hard work is constant. So you can't lazy out and think that you will succeed. No, it doesn't work that way. But let me not digress. Talking about how to break free. If you really want to break free, one major question you want to ask yourself is, who am I? And for you to do that, it means that you need to have clarity. Clarity. Now, we don't have clarity because we are in the midst of chaos. A lot of things are boggling our minds. So most often at times, we really do not have clarity. And if you don't have clarity, you cannot determine who you are. The next question is, where are you going to? 2 questions. 1, who are you? If you want to reposition yourself for 2021, then 2 questions you must answer rightly is, who are you and where are you going to? Who are you and where are you going to? One talks about your personality and the other talks about direction. One talks about personality and the other talks about direction. All right, let's go on. Now, one major challenge is we are trying to find clarity amidst chaos. Now, so many things are going on. So we are going through a lot. We're actually going through a lot, and we're going through a lot. So if you're going through a lot, it's always very, very difficult to get clarity. So one major question I would like to ask this evening is, or I rather want to ask that you forget about your worries. While I was sending out the notification for this training, one question I asked was, if you know you will not fail, what would you attempt? If you know you could not fail, what will you attempt? Now, 2020 has thrown a lot at us, but I want you to take out time to forget about what 2020 has thrown at you. Forget about the school fees, forget about what you need to eat, forget about your worries, forget about everything. Take up a pen, take up a piece of paper, and ask yourself just that one question. What great thing would you attempt if you knew you could not fail? That was a statement by Robert Schuller. What great thing would you attempt if you knew you could not fail? What great thing would you attempt if you knew you could not fail? What great thing would you attempt if you knew you could not fail? I want you to think about it. Just ponder on it. Assume all the factors are in your favor. Assume you have the finances to actually achieve your dreams. Assume all the assumables and write it down. What will you attempt if you know you could not fail? And that's what you'll be attempting in 2021. Let's go on. Now, I'll need you to write it down. Like it's often said, a short pen is better than a long memory. So if it's clear to you what you will achieve if you knew you could not fail, write it down. It doesn't matter how big that dream is. It doesn't matter the challenges you are currently facing, but just write it down. You know why? Because if you take one step towards your dreams always take multiple steps towards you. And this is so, so true. This is so, so true. So, so true. If you take one step towards your dreams always take multiple steps towards you. Now, let's look at this. These words were written by Anita Poems, and she said, life is a piece of art. It requires lots of heart. Choose your paint and your brush. Take your time. Avoid the rush. Before you paint, choose your theme. Don't be afraid. Follow your dream. It's all right to make a mistake. Your painting is real. It's not fake. Look at your painting. Don't be crying. Begin again. Keep on trying. Your painting is never fully complete. Enjoy the process. Make sure it's sweet. Now, one major reason why people will never attempt is because of fear. Fear of failure. Fear of various levels of fear. Phobia. Fear of failure, fear of what people will say. Oh, they will laugh at me. What if? And you ask yourself all the questions. But trust me, for every great success you see today, they all failed at one point. So you need to kill fear. You need to destroy fear. You need to break it down. Part of what okay, let me not go into that. Kill fear. Forget about what the person by your side is saying. Just follow your heart. Like the writer of the poem said, sorry. Say before you paint, choose your team. Don't be afraid to follow your dream. It's all right to make a mistake. Your painting is real. It's not fake. It's all right to make a mistake. Yes, you can make mistakes. But do not stop there. kill fear. Like I said earlier, if you take one step towards your dreams take multiple steps towards you. Laura London. Now, break from fear is a killer of dreams. Do not get into tomorrow and begin to wish that you would have taken a risk. Now, in life, as you grow and you get into your early 20s, it's actually the time where I encourage people to take risks because you have nothing to lose at that point in time. Because you're not married, you don't have family to worry about. Take the risk. If you want to start a business, start the business. Now, if you do not take those risks when you need to take them, as you grow older, it becomes more difficult for you to take those risks. Why? Because you now have a lot of considerations. You now begin to think about your kids, think about your family, you think about this, think about that, and it begins to slow you down on your ability to take risk. At some point in time, we must all take the risk. It could be the risk of you leaving your job. It could be the risk of anything. But the advice is, if you know where you are going to, and if you know who you are, it makes it even easier for you to make those decisions. The bottom line is, the reason why a lot of persons cannot break out of the mold that they found themselves in. The mold could be anything. In this context, I've defined the mold as the environment. The mold could be anything. As you're listening to me, different pictures and images have formed in your mind. The mold could be anything. Your ability to be able to break out of the mold, it's you having clarity about who you are and where you are going to. If I know I'm going to become a pilot, if I know who I am and I know where I'm going to, I want to become a pilot. It's very easy. I begin to take courses that will take me there. I begin to read books that will take me there. I begin to do everything that will take me there because I know where I'm going to. And like it's often said, if you know where you're going to early, it makes you break grounds early. Fear is a killer of dreams. Do not get into tomorrow and begin to wish that you would have taken those risks. Now, like I said earlier, I'm not the only one that would speak this evening. I would just like to give an opportunity to one or two persons to say something, and before I take the concluding part. So I'll just invite Bolaji to say one or two things on this. Then we'll open the floor for questions, comments, and contributions. Bolaji, are you there?
I'm here, sir.
Okay.
So can you recap again, sir?
Yes, I said before I go into the concluding parts, I'd just like you to say one or two things. Like I said, it's a roundtable talk. I'm not the only one that'll be talking this evening. So I just want you to say a few things. And I give an opportunity to others to make comments. Let's learn from each other. Let me hear the friends I have gathered here today speak.
All right. Good evening, everybody. It's actually a good time since we've commenced this discussion, roundtable talk. I want to commend Mr. Jonah for such a wonderful platform. Even myself, I've been capturing a few insights about myself. So just to put a push to what he has explained to us, is that, I wrote a book about 4 or 5 years ago talking about renewal of mindsets. So, talking about the fixed mindset and the growth mindset, it's very, very essential that we know what we are up to. You mentioned the part that knowing who we are first, the place of personality, our perception, how we think, how we see things, our temperaments, all of these things are very, very expedient for us to understand because even personally for me, this has actually helped me, because there was a time in my life where I could not even identify where I belong to or what actually I should be doing, such that I began to, plug myself into several things, and I discovered that I'm not even bringing results. I'm not even bringing results. So it's expedient for us to know, okay, are we of growth mindsets or of fixed mindset, just like I said the other time, because the growth mindset will always want to get clarity and pursue things rightly, you know, being objective in manner and in operation. Okay, but the fixed mindset people, they just believe the thing. I mean, things should the way things are just the way they are. They can't change. It can't change. If they see anybody who is succeeding, they believe, well, it's just by luck. Maybe God just answer his prayers. Maybe this, but for growth mindset people actually understand principles. They understand principles. So what I want to say, in the light of what we have been discussing, is that clarity is expensive. Of course, it's expensive, and it's not what we might get at a goal. However, we should have the end in the mind. That's okay. I want to get it right. I want to be clear about life, because when we say clarity, it's very broad. Even okay, clarity about what is it, what you want in your career, or what you want business wise if you're an entrepreneur, or what you want in your marriage, or what it's in every dimension. We have this to be cleared about. So it may not be what we get at a goal. However, it is very, very important for us to actually know what we want. Yeah, there are some points in life where we want everything. You see this one today, you feel like you should have it. Tomorrow, you feel like you should have it. But all of these things should be streamlined towards the end in the mind. That okay, fine, I'm going somewhere. I know it might take me a while. I might have to go through some hurdles, to get it right, but we should always have the end in the mind about what actually do I want. Okay, what kind of life do I want to live? Just like I said the other time. Okay, now knowing what you want what to do to achieve what you want will be inspired by the clarity concept. When you're clear about it, if this is the kind of thing I want, then you understand, okay, what does it take to actually make this thing work? I remember just some months ago, our MD called us, my firm where I work. He called us and he said, for the past 11 years, the business has diverted from the core vision. Everybody was shocked. Of course, there was revenue, money was coming in and all of that. But he said, we are not doing what we intend to do from the beginning. And everybody got jolted, like, what could that be? And that came, I think he read a book by, is it Simon, talking about starting with your why. Yeah, is it Simon Reck or something, or someone? So starting with your why. Okay, thank you, Simon. So starting with your why. So that brought about recalibration. Everybody, all the management team had to come together. But that led to one of the retreats we had about maybe some 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago there about. So we had to come, we have to engage consultants. Like we had to open up, like we have missed the routes. We had clarity at the inception, but in the midst of that journey, we have lost it because maybe we are making money and it's looking like things are all right. But in the real sense, what we are doing is not what we intend to start to be doing. What we are doing is not what we have in mind at the inception to be doing. There has been digression due to maybe forces that we can't actually explain in details. So my point is that we should always come to a point like what we are doing right now to evaluate. Even when you say something about writing down what you would have done if you would not fail. I was stiff somehow, like, so what would that thing have been? So it requires that we have a time to reflect. Now, this is a season where we need to reflect. And if you can get it right, like we have been hearing about it, especially in Lagos now, the thing is getting terrible. So as a business, even for us, one of those things we discussed then when we had our meeting was, okay, if we have an experience of this COVID-19 lockdown again, how do we still thrive in the midst of it? Okay, how do we? So, an helpful factor is a clarity that we have gotten and we have decided to work alongside with. Okay, so for us as well, as individuals, or probably as whatever class we belong to or what we do, we need to be clear. It can be expensive, it can be time consuming, but once we get it clear, one of the feelings we will have is this all round peace. You just have that comfort on the end part of you, and then there will be motivation on a higher scale on what to do part time and how to get. So if a company of 11 years can say we have been wrong and they say let's go back to the drawing board, where they have to pay consultant millions of naira to come. Okay, we are wrong. Come and help us. We want to get things right. And at the point of the calibration, we now realize that if we were doing what we should be doing, we will have been maybe 10 times better than the way we had, that we felt maybe we are doing awesome. If we have been doing what we are doing at the inception, when we had the clarity, we will have been more, we have like been better than the way we are right now as a firm, as an organization. So this is also applicable to us as individuals. We can be making money right now doing what we are doing, but what is that thing that, just like it was explained to the other time, that if we have been doing those things, even the place of risk actually eats me a lot as a person. Like what will happen, but if we can try and pay the price of the clarity, it might require us to get a consultant, a therapist, or somebody, but we should just ensure that we have this clarity, because it will bring to us a lot of inspiration. A lot now in my firm now, everybody's excited now, because now everybody understands, everybody is now clear, so there is motivation to activating all of these things.
All right.
So my point line is that we need to pay all the price expected to have the clarity, so we
Thank you
can
very much.
get better.
Thank you very much. Faith, Faith, are you on the call?
Um, I'm here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good
All right.
evening.
Let's hear from you, Faith.
Good evening, everyone. Um,
Good evening.
we've heard a lot tonight. I would just add that, first of all, like Pastor Jonah said, the new year's coming. We've done a lot. We have a lot more to do. First of all, I think after everything, after doing all our is it assessing ourselves and everything, of course we want to do better than we've done before. But last Sunday, somebody, I was in church and pastor was saying you must first appreciate God for where you are right now, that you're alive. It's something that until you begin to appreciate God for what you have, you cannot appreciate, so that is important. Then you must have a positive attitude towards life, towards the future. Even though things may not have worked out the way that you wanted them to be, you should believe in God and in yourself that the future is better and there is so much more in store for you, and you work towards it. And some of the ways you can work towards it is build yourself, develop yourself, learn new things. Like we're all here tonight at this round table talk, we're learning from each other. No man is an island. You can always learn. Somebody said once, when you stop learning, you start dying. As long as you learn, there is room for you to do things better, for you to improve, for you to achieve that success that it is possible, it is doable, that even if you've achieved a lot and you think you've achieved much, there's so much more that God has in store for you, so much more that you are capable of, so much more that you can achieve. But then you need to make that move. You need to take that step. You need to put one brick on top of the other. You need to try to leave your comfort zone. You need to try to do things differently. You need to try to broaden your horizon and open up yourself to new things, to new opportunities. You need to try to expand your network. And like I was talking to somebody recently that in our lives we have people. If you look at yourself, you have a lot of people who can actually help you, who can be a springboard to where you're going to. You need to try to reconnect with people. Of course, there are some people in your past that you are not supposed to go back to, that are just meant to be there for a season. But then there are also people that you have met who could actually help you succeed, that God has placed there in your life for a purpose. So you need to try to reconnect to those people and see what you can do. Don't just be an island. You know, they said together we can achieve more. You know, basically, I think for now that's
All right.
what I'll say.
Thank you very much. I don't know if you have any comment, you can just raise your hand, or you can just unmute yourself and just introduce yourself and say what you have to say. Questions are welcome. You can put your questions in the chat box. But I just want to quickly say something about clarity. Now, it's not easy to get clarity. That's the truth. Sometimes you just need to. For me, it took me a while before I actually began to understand where I was going to and understand who I was. Being that, initially I talked about the mode. We got out of school. We just wanted to do anything just because we all of a sudden realized that the jobs were not coming forth. So the jobs, excuse me, shaped our lives. Right now, we were actually supposed to determine what we want and go for it, but it wasn't that way. Right, we got into the jobs, and the jobs were actually directing our lives. So it got to a point whereby it wasn't just working, because you just go to work every day and you're not just happy. You want to do something, but yes, you're being paid at the end of the month. Yes, it was paying the bills, but you were not just excited about what you were doing. So it's sometimes in getting clarity, what our advice is: take action, do it, fail. If it's not working, go back to the drawing board. Just take action as much as possible. As in your doings, in your actions, in whatever you are trying to, you will definitely find clarity. You will definitely find clarity. Like Bolaji said, you could actually engage a coach. Yes, you could engage a coach. You want to take it slowly, engage a coach, redirect your thoughts, redirect your mind. But yes, if you're not talking to anybody, or you're not doing all of that, and you have certain ideas in your head, just go ahead and take action. You might make mistakes, but definitely along the line, you will definitely get into what you want to do. Keep moving. Yeah, that's it, Faith. Sometimes clarity doesn't just come. It doesn't just, but just keep moving. Yeah. Questions, comments are welcome. Now, I also just want to get feedback from the team tonight to know if what we have said is impactful. Please, I really like to know. Has it been insightful? Has it been impactful? Please let me know. If it has been impactful, please just type 111 in the box. Sorry, was somebody saying something? All right, now comments, questions. We're open to comments and questions. Then you can unmute yourself and just ask any question. If you want to make a contribution, you can unmute yourself and just make a contribution before we go into the concluding part. However, if you think it was impactful, if you think you have learned something, just drop 1 in the box. Let's see, in the chat box.
Excuse, can I say something?
Yes, please.
You
Trevor
know,
on this call.
Can
Yeah,
I?
when you're done, Faith.
Yes, I am.
Okay, Chema will also like you to say something. Faith, when you're done, please go ahead, Faith.
Okay, I also want to say what I want to say about clarity is that
Yeah,
sometimes it may not be so clear,
yeah, true.
and then somebody was talking about, especially as those of us who are very religious, like gave an example of a lady who got a job, and then because she wanted to hear from God, she's asked her pastor because hear from God about whether she should take the job or not. And the pastor asked her to wait. And that was how she lost, which could have really changed their lives. The point I'm trying to make is that the fact that you're not so clear about it right now, but most times we have this innate perception, like a compass within us that just guides us. We may not really see it so clearly. It doesn't mean you should just stay there or start feeling that you're with you. Like we've been trying to say, just like I was in a meeting today. There's something I've been working on. Initially, it was just kind of vague, like about it. I did a proposal, but when I began to talk about it, I began to talk about it with my friends, with people around me, rubbing minds, getting ideas. It began to get clearer, like even up to the details of some things that I wanted to do. As I started that proposal, it started coming out. It was like I could actually see a picture already of the finished product. More to come, so that clarity comes, but don't hold on and wait. Yes, sometimes there's a part of waiting, but sometimes you just keep moving one step at a time. It will come. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah. So okay. All right. Questions, please. Questions. All right. I was asking if this has been impactful. I don't want this to stop, right? I want us to have other sessions, say in January, and if possible, you can also drop possible pain points you want us to talk about. I also see in the future where we could also get a guest on board that will also talk about one or two things that could be pain. Well, sorry, I'm just trying to go through this comment. Yeah. Okay. So in the future, I'm looking at possibility where we could also get a guest to talk to us. For me, this is the maiden edition, and I wanted to continue. It's a platform where we could share ideas, a platform where we can just talk about real issues, right? And I think add value to ourselves. So if you wanted to continue, yes, just drop your email address. Somebody is on the call here with us that will be taking details. Just drop your email address if you wanted to continue. We don't need your phone numbers, just your name and your email address. Just drop it in the chat box, your name and your email address. The recordings will be sent to us. I'll send the recordings to us. Um, the recordings will be sent to us so that you can benefit. I can also send the slides as well. I don't have a problem doing that. I'll send the recording and the slides so that we could listen to it and go through the slides at our spare time. Then I'm coming out with my very first book in January. Yes, in January I'll be coming out with my first book, and for everyone on this call, you'll be getting a fantastic discount. Yes, I'm not going to tell you the name of the title of the book yet, but yes, I'm going to I'll be coming out with my first book, and yeah, you'll be getting a very good discount. I want to say thank you all for coming. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Roundtable talk in January. Yes, roundtable talk in January. We'll be coming again in January to talk about how it has been and how we'll pick another topic where we'll discuss. And I believe it will grow. So questions and contributions. Questions. I want
Yeah, hi.
questions. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so my question here is okay. You feel you have clarity on something and
Okay.
you're so sure that this is it,
Okay.
and then you dive into it.
Okay.
But midway into it, and you have put in so much, effort
Mm,
into making that thing work.
mhm.
And then midway into it, you just find out that, okay, I'm not so sure anymore because
Exactly.
of maybe some kind of side happenings around, and you just feel you're no longer sure if this is what is supposed to be, or this is where you're supposed to be, or this is what you're supposed to do. How do you retrace your steps?
Mm,
How do you go back to the drawing board, because you have put in so much
mm,
into this thing,
mm,
so looking back, you have invested so much,
mm.
right? And you want to move on, you want to move forward, you want to do uh the other thing, you feel okay, this is it. How do you do that?
Great. Now, let me take you back to this poem. It says, life is a piece of art. It requires lots of heart. Choose your paint and your brush. Take your time. Avoid the rush. Before you paint, choose your theme. Don't be afraid to follow your dream. It's all right to make a mistake. Your painting is real, it's not fake. Now, the problem or the challenge most of us face is sometimes we are afraid to make the mistake. So what I've said here this evening is this. You feel you are on the right path. You go ahead and you invest your resources, and midway on that bridge, you just discover that what the decision you took was wrong, right? Fine. In life, there are certain decisions you take that could be devastating. There are certain decisions that you take that at midpoint, you just wish you never you never made that decision. However, no matter how devastating it is, no matter how, irrespective of whatever it is, at that point in time, pause, right? Reevaluate. There will always be a way out. Do not kill yourself because you made a mistake. Just ask yourself what will be the solution. Ask for a solution. There is always a solution, except you're not looking for one. Something I learned recently is this. If you tell yourself it's not going to happen, you are right. If you tell yourself it's going to happen, you are right. Whichever way, you are always correct. So if you've invested so much and all of a sudden you discover that it's the wrong business, sit down and ask yourself, what can I do to get out of this situation? You will always find a solution. It could be painful. Yes. Your resources have gone into it. Yes. You've spent time. Yes. You spent years. Yes. But there will always be a solution. All you need to ask yourself, what can I do? And yes, if for me, I'm a man of faith, I pray. I'll ask God, what can I do? Do you get it? There is always a way. Do not be afraid. Do not say because you engaged and you didn't, because you engaged and you were not clear, or you engaged and you discovered it was a mistake, you will not engage again. No. If not, you will just be at that point and life will just, you just be at that point, life will go by and it will be a sorry state for that person. So whenever you get to that point where you think that, oh, you've invested so much resources, just sit down, calm yourself down, and we do a rethink, do a reevaluation, because it is a learning point. I was speaking with one of my clients. He said, I don't mind putting 15 million into this. If I fail in this, it will hurt me for some months, but I would have learned something. I will come back better and I'll win again. And that is the mindset I want you to take. Be willing to take the risk. However, in as much as you are willing to take the risk, let it be properly evaluated. Let it be properly evaluated. Let it be properly evaluated. The fact that we say take risk doesn't mean that you should take stupid risk. The fact that we say take risk doesn't mean that you should go in front of a vehicle and allow it to hit you. No, that's not what we're talking about. Better evaluate the risk and take the risk. I don't know if I've been able to answer your question. if you have, if we have other persons can share and add to it.
Hi everyone. This is Chioma.
Okay.
I kind of, based on what you just asked now,
Yeah.
I kind of just wanted to throw more light on it. And
Okay.
I think that one of the speakers actually made a very good threw more light into it. As in when he was speaking regarding this issue in terms of the company trying to reevaluate that they have fallen part away from the route they were meant to go to, even though they were making money.
True.
And if you notice that one thing we should definitely do as individuals is always reevaluate ourselves.
Yeah.
And then don't be afraid. One of the things you do, you've done the mistake, cut your losses as fast as you can. Don't continue if you're convinced within yourself that you should not move ahead again. Cut your losses, reevaluate, and then move ahead. Always, as in, one thing for me especially is I'm not afraid to start all over. That's one of the things I've realized in my life so far, that it failed, yes, pick up yourself again and go. The truth is you would always have a transferable skills that you have learned during the process to move ahead in the other one. So whatever it is, there's always a lesson to learn in any activity or in any event you actually fall and you find yourself in and all that. So that's just one of the things.
Just to add to that, sometimes even in the mess, right, is where you find your story. In that mess where you just feel, oh, I've lost it all, that could just be it for you. Your breakthrough could actually be in that mess, and you've learned a big lesson, and it becomes your story. And sharing that story could just be it. All right. Any other question? I promise we'll be here for 1 hour. This is 8:04 by my time. Yeah, let's just take questions or comments if there are any.
Okay, I just want to say on that last question,
Yeah.
I want to look at it from another angle. Sometimes you may have been into something, like you said, and then you begin to doubt if you made the wrong decision. But sometimes it may just be that you're just going through a phase. Maybe because of some things happened, not necessarily because you made a wrong decision.
True.
So at that point, what you can do, for instance, like I've been talking with somebody who has.
Hello, Faith. I hope we did not lose you there.
Anymore. Her children are telling her, leave it. What you can do is, okay, at that point where you're feeling so low and all that, you can look for somebody who has a passion for what you're currently doing. Instead of just packing up completely, you can partner with people that maybe have like passion or dreams or vision, and maybe just take a break for a while and reevaluate things and decide your next step, not just giving up on it completely. That's my take.
Great, thank you. Any other question or contribution? Okay, all right. So let's call it a day. But before we do that, I just want to just a moment. Sorry. Okay, can you still see my screen? BJ, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. All right, so those are my details. So if you still want to talk to me privately, fantastic. That's my phone number. That's my email address. I'm the managing partner for Aqueduct Intermediaries. And I want to say thank you for joining me tonight. just watch out for this space. We'll be here again in January, hopefully with another topic. And please tell a friend to tell a friend. And I do see this grow in the future, whereby we'll be making huge impact, impacting a lot of lives. So thank you for believing in this, and welcome on board. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Thanks and bye, everyone.
All right. You have a great...
Bye. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Thank you.
Cynthia, thank you for joining.
Night.
Yeah, good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, PJ, later now.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know how much I will see that session.